Have you ever been sitting in a meeting thinking, I have something to say, but then you wait, and someone else says almost exactly what you were thinking. And suddenly everyone says, that's a great idea. If that's happened to you, your problem may not be your lack of knowledge. You may simply need a better strategy for entering the conversation. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to speak up in meetings, even if you're nervous, naturally quiet, or your English isn't your first language. And stay until the end because I'm offering a free professional's guide to speaking up in meetings that you can request from my page. Hi, I'm Samar from Speak Up, Level Up Your Career. And here's something I want every professional to understand. You don't need to speak the most in meetings. You just need to contribute effectively. There's a big difference. So I'm going to give you 7 strategies that you can start using at your very next meeting. So before your next meeting, take a look at the agenda and write down 3 things. 1 question, 1 idea, and 1 update. That's it. And give yourself 3 possible opportunities to speak. It's much easier to contribute when you've already decided what you might say. And here's an extra tip. Actually, say your point out loud before the meeting. So don't just practice it in your head, practice saying it out loud. The second strategy is to speak clearly. Try to say something within the first 10 minutes, because the longer you stay silent, the bigger speaking can feel. Your first contribution doesn't need to be brilliant. You could simply say, that's a helpful update. I agree with that approach. Or, I'd like to add something. And once you've spoken once, then contributing again often becomes easier. So don't wait 45 minutes looking for the perfect opportunity. Get your voice in the room early. The third strategy is to have a few entry phrases ready. Sometimes you know what you want to say. The difficult part is knowing how to get into the conversation. So try saying, I'd like to add something, or I'd like to share a thought, or one thing we might consider is. These phrases give you a natural way to enter the conversation and buy your brain a few seconds to organize your thoughts. The fourth strategy is learning how to interrupt professionally. Yes, sometimes you actually need to interrupt. If you wait for the perfect silence, you might never get the opportunity to speak. So instead of talking over someone or suddenly jumping in, say, may I add something? Or if I can jump in for a moment. Before we move on, I'd like to mention one thing. You're not being rude, you're learning how to enter a fast-moving professional conversation respectfully. The fifth strategy is learning how to disagree without creating unnecessary conflict. Being confident doesn't mean agreeing with everything. Strong professionals and leaders need to be able to express different perspectives. Instead of simply saying, I don't agree, say, I understand your perspective, however. Or another way we could look at this is, or we should also consider, you're acknowledging the other person's perspective while still communicating your own. That's a professional communication skill. The sixth strategy I want to mention is the easy way to participate when you're not sure what to say is just to ask a question. You could say, could you expand on that point? Or could you provide an example? Just to confirm, are we saying that? These questions show that you're listening. They help clarify information, and they allow you to contribute without feeling the need to give a presentation every time you speak. And the seventh strategy is something strong communicators often do near the end of a discussion. Summarize. You could say, it sounds like we've agreed on 3 key items. Or if I understand correctly, our next steps are, and summarize those key points. That demonstrates more than speaking ability. It shows that you are listening, organizing the information, and thinking about what happens next. You can take this one step further by volunteering to take on an action item. You could say, I could follow up on that, or I'll coordinate the next step. Now, you're not only contributing ideas, you're demonstrating ownership and leadership. So here's my challenge for you. At your next meeting, speak once. That's it. Ask a question, share an opinion, or clarify one point. Summarize an idea, or even volunteer for one task. Instead of walking into the meeting telling yourself, I need to be confident today, give yourself something measurable. Today, I will contribute once, and then do it again for the next meeting and the next one. Try to add on. Small contributions build visibility, and they also help you to build confidence. If you want help practicing these strategies, I've created a professional's guide for how to speak up in meetings. It includes strategies, phrases that you could use to start your commenting, share your opinion, agreeing or disagreeing, interrupting politely, summarizing, and bringing a conversation back on track. So this is a great resource. You could visit my page to request your free guide. And again, don't just download it, practice it. Choose at least 5 phrases that sound natural to you. Say them out loud, and then challenge yourself to use at least one in your next meeting. Because knowing what to say is the only first step. Confidence comes from practicing what to say before you need to say it. If you're a professional or a job seeker or emerging leader who wants to communicate more with confidence, subscribe to Speak Up, Level Up Your Career, as I'll be sharing more videos like this.